Hello there, and welcome to the Scruffy Looking Nerders podcast. I am your host, Tyler, bringing you news on all things nerd and geek related. This week, I'm going to be talking about Borderlands, Elder Scrolls, Star Wars, and more. So, here we go. First things up, I got a little bit of housekeeping for you. Don't forget, I will be at VisionCon in Springfield, Missouri on May 10th and 11th. And I'd like to hang out with you, so if you're going to be there, be sure to let me know. Grab a burger, or some pizza, a beer, I don't know, something. First up, in the gaming report, Gearbox has finally confirmed the existence of Borderlands 3, and even revealed a new trailer for the long-awaited sequel to one of the studio's most beloved franchises. I personally was happy to see several characters return in the trailer for the new game. Most notable is an adult Tiny Tina, who was still 13 years old in Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. But the return of characters from Tales of the Borderlands is a welcome surprise. There are plenty of other familiar faces as well, such as Sirens Lilith and Maya, Ellie, Marcus, and Sir Hammerlock. I did notice, though, that several environments in the trailer look a little too similar, like Pandora. But if Borderlands 3 takes place on multiple worlds, as Borderlands 2 implied and the new trailer claims, then the people and places in this new game should be fairly different from what we've seen before. Borderlands 3 will take place 5 years after the events of Borderlands 2, and it will have all new playable characters. And like I said, I did notice there was at least one character from Tales from the Borderlands, which was arguably Telltale Games' best game, so it was fascinating to see them acknowledge the existence of that game, as most of the entries for franchises that Telltale worked on aren't really considered canon. But Borderlands 3 was accompanied by the reveal of an enhanced Borderlands Game of the Year edition coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC. A free update is also being released that adds 4K graphics to Borderlands The Handsome Collection, a bundle of Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, which is also available on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So, that enhanced Borderlands Game of the Year edition, it's not just a simple port. It will also pack in new content, including more weapons, in addition to a variety of other improvements to gameplay. It releases next week. So in just a couple days, it's going to be out. And you might be able to get it for free, provided you already own the game on PC. This new Game of the Year edition is described as the brand new definitive version. It's set for release on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and features the same basic content as the original game, complete with all 4 of its DLC packs. The Zombie Island of Dr. Ned, Mad Moxie's Underdome Riot, the Secret Armory of General Knox, and Claptrap's new Robot Revolution. The Game of the Year edition will feature visual improvements suited to the new platforms. Gearbox boasts that PS4 and Xbox One X players, and presumably those with adequate PC hardware, can play in 4K and HDR. But all platforms will include improved lighting, textures, and character models. Beyond visual changes, though, there are quality of life improvements and changes coming to impact gameplay as well. An optional minimap similar to the one found in Borderlands 2 is being introduced, while inventory management will be overhauled. You'll now be able to lock weapons that you want to ensure stay safe, while those you don't care about can be labeled as junk to make disposing of them more straightforward. Similarly, you'll no longer have to worry about picking up ammo, money, and health, as that will now be done automatically. Thank God. That was always so annoying in the Borderlands games, is having to pick up. I mean, you could hold down the loot button and it would collect everything within a radius, but man, I'm so glad that they're doing that. A handful of new guns are being added as well. 6 named custom-skinned legendary tier weapons will be available as drops from bosses or through the use of golden keys. Those keys tie into the shift reward system, which, if you're familiar with Borderlands 2, it was the special in-game items and reward chests, and you would be able to get keys and unlock the chests. If you've played, I think it was even in the pre-sequel, if I remember correctly, but If you've played Borderlands 2 or the pre-sequel on PS4, Xbox One, or PC, you'll be entitled to 75 golden keys for free, as well as 2 randomly selected new weapons. Another new element is the ability to customize your character. Whereas the game previously only allowed you to select colors, you can now choose one of 5 different head options for each of the 4 characters, which wasn't really introduced until Borderlands 2. So that's pretty neat that they're taking stuff from like the second and the pre-sequel and like retroactively applying it to the first one. Because, I mean, the first one was a lot of fun. I remember playing it a lot on the Xbox 360 with my friends. I have it on the PC. I can't honestly remember how many hours I have on it. I'll have to double check, but I know it's quite a few. But finally, Gearbox says it's heeding complaints from fans and will update the campaign's final boss. It should now be, quote, more engaging, challenging, and rewarding. It is encouraging to see this is more than just a mere port like so many other companies do. Bethesda. Hey, speaking of Bethesda, Elder Scrolls Blades officially hit early access this week, and although the wave-based nature of invites means plenty of people haven't been able to go dungeon crawling yet in Tamriel, and when you do get to go dungeon crawling, it's gonna be worth noting how much that loot will cost you to open. Because in the first few levels of Blades, you can unlock the chest straight away. But after that stage, you'll need to either wait for a timer to run out or unlock them directly using gems. Standard microtransaction, free-to-play mobile gaming stuff, I'm sure. I would give my review for it, but as the game is in early access, as I said, I haven't gotten my invite yet. But I did come across a couple reviews, and here's one that I will read to you as well. So their initial thoughts is, they've been playing for 2 days, it's not bad. The game seems to be handing out gems at a reasonable rate, and so far I haven't had the urge to open them. Low-level chests unlock in 5 seconds, silver is 3 hours, and gold is 7 hours. I've just been pouring silver ones on the timer while I'm at work. I check it and start a new one whenever. The gold ones will go overnight. I just put a chest on the boil when I'm about to stop playing. There's also an infinite dungeon crawl mode that seems to spit out mats and money fairly quickly so far. So, more than likely, Bethesda, I'm pretty sure it's Bethesda that's handling this game, but more than likely, they will probably end up wiping the servers, and all accounts will be wiped and reset before the official launch comes of Blades. I'm sure you'll probably get some sort of bonus pack for being an early access member. Maybe, I don't know. But I would rather, I get that it's early access, and I would rather wait until I can actually play the game. So basically what happened is I was able to download it. I got the notification like, hey, this is, early access. You can download it now. So I go through, logging into my Bethesda account, going through the tutorial for the game, which was pretty decent. Just that small tutorial, this seems like it's going to be a decent game. They know what it is and they know what it isn't, kind of thing. And it's not trying to be something that it's not. But yeah, so I get through the tutorial just to come to a screen that says that once I get an invite, I'll be able to continue to play, which I just get this music. Which, it's good music. Don't get me wrong. It was really good music. I love the Elder Scrolls soundtracks. They've always been super good. But that's it's infuriating. Because this was actually a game that I was actually interested in trying to try. I wanted to try it. Same with Diablo Immortal. I wanted to see how these AAA companies were going to handle their AAA games on a mobile level. But unfortunately, as you can tell, I was not able to test it out just yet. So once I am able to, I will give my initial thoughts, and whether or not I will continue to play it, I don't know. I'm already half tempted to just delete it off of my phone, but I will persevere through that and just ignore that it's there. That is Elder Scrolls Blade so far. Next up, I have a gaming deal for you. So if you have Amazon Prime, you are automatically getting Twitch Prime, if you were unaware. So you can go to Twitch, you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. And then once you have Twitch Prime, or if you already have it, you can get 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online. And if you stay a Prime member for more than 2 months, you get an additional 9 months of Nintendo Switch Online. So in 2 months, you can get an entire year's worth of Nintendo Switch Online for free. That's a hell of a deal. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, if you're a Switch player, I definitely recommend doing that. So there you go. That's my gaming deal for you. And lastly, on the gaming report, Marvel's Iron Man VR is a new PlayStation VR title that puts you into Tony Stark's suit, allowing you to fly and shoot down enemies with his ion repulsors. Oh my gosh, so cool. The trailer looks so rad. But Iron Man VR is being developed by Camouflage, a developer that previously created Republic and its VR port. In a blog post, Camouflage director Ryan Payton wrote that this team is looking to create a deeply personal and appropriately funny narrative in Iron Man VR that sees Tony confront ghosts from his past. It looks like Iron Man VR will be played entirely in first person without customary cutscenes. Combat is a mixture of flight, repulsor blasts, and punching. You use the PSVR headset to look around, as attacks can come in from all directions. I'm not much on VR, and I know that on the announcement trailer, it said, like this isn't actual gameplay footage and the cinematics or whatever. But basically, if you remember in Iron Man 3, whenever Tony, the aircraft, rips open and all the people are falling out and he goes and he saves them, that is essentially the trailer. Like I said, I'm not much on VR because it gives me a headache, or some of them give me motion sickness. But I would totally deal with those terrible, terrible things to test out playing as Iron Man in VR. So, segueing from Marvel to more Marvel news. Yeah, that's how segues work, right? So first up in movie news, Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe may be getting some more star power in the form of Oscar winner Angelina Jolie. The Hollywood Reporter stated that Jolie is in talks to join one of Marvel's upcoming movies, The Eternals, which is being directed by Chloe Zhao. There's no word yet on who Jolie would be playing in the film, mostly because there's no word on what characters will be in the movie yet. Plus, Marvel hasn't even officially announced it. Kevin Feige hasn't acknowledged it, but like most of other movies coming from Marvel in the future, nothing has been made concrete until after next month's release of Avengers Endgame. They're trying to keep everything kind of hush-hush and on the low. I understand they don't want people to know one way or the other of anything, because if they start announcing more movies, it could be potential spoilers. So, I get it. But if you are unfamiliar with what the Eternals are, it was created by Jack Kirby in 1976, and the Eternals are an offshoot of humanity, evolved by the space-bound godlike beings known as the Celestials, like Star-Lord's dad Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, millions of years in Earth's past, granting them powers and the ability to manipulate cosmic energies themselves. That's the general idea, but what about the movie's story? Well, one tidbit may have been leaked, according to the Hollywood Reporter, which writes that one aspect to the story involves the love story between Icarus, a man fueled by cosmic energy, and Cersei, who relishes moving amongst humans. So I'm not entirely stoked on this, as I've never really been a fan of Jolie's acting abilities, but I also haven't really been disappointed with any of the casting as of yet with the MCU. So, I guess in order to be fair, I will reserve my judgment if and when I see her in her MCU debut. But, like I said, I'm not, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of her. I thought she did okay in the movie Hackers. I thought she was a terrible casting for Tomb Raider. I can't. I mean, Sky Captain, she was okay, but she just kind of had like a cameo in that. And I don't know. I'm just not really looking forward to it. I hope it's just a rumor. I really hope it's not true. I really hope it is not true. Moving on. Lastly, in movie news, so I shared this on Instagram story, but an alleged piece of poster art, presumably created for merchandising purposes for Star Wars Episode 9, has hit the web, and it gave us our first look at some intriguing images from the film. There's new Crimson Stormtroopers. There was a Y-Wing, and what I'm assuming is the Knights of Ren, Naomi Aki's new character, and even Kylo Ren wearing a repaired version of his mask that he shattered in The Last Jedi. The costumes worn by Finn, Rey, and Poe match up with what little we got to see in a photo released by J.J. Abrams to mark the end of production last month. But Mark Hamill himself has cast doubt on the veracity of the poster. But given Hamill's penchant for his, I don't want to say trolling, but his humor on Twitter, and the fact that Lucasfilm previously declared that the merchandise art for Solo, a Star Wars story that leaked ahead of time, was unofficial, up until the moment it appearing on toy boxes. It's hard to say that this is not legit or not. It's really hard to tell. If it is a fan-made Photoshop thing that Hamill is insinuating, it's a really damn good one. But, I mean, who can say? And other than if we just wait like 2 weeks until Star Wars Celebration and the Episode 9 panel, I mean, I'm sure we'll find out one way or the other. So fans kind of breezed over some of the weird stuff on the poster, like C-3PO holding Chewie's bowcaster, and there was like this weird slug alien that kind of looked like Jerry from Rick and Morty whenever they went to that alien couples therapy, and Beth saw Jerry is looking like a slug. Like, it kind of just looks like that. But so fans kind of just, looked over that and didn't even pay it any mind, just in favor of seeing the cool stuff like the Knights of Ren and like the Crimson Stormtroopers and Kylo's repaired helmet and all that stuff. Like, so many cool stuff on this poster. And like I said, honestly, if it is fake, it's a really good one, to a point to where like I would want to have a poster of it. It's that good. But like I said, it's not that often that fans would be out there trying to Photoshop C-3PO holding on to, using Chewbacca's bowcaster and a slug alien behind Finn. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem like that's something fans would add in to a poster if they were trying to make it look real. But just imagine what it'll be like when some actual Star Wars news breaks. I'm still hoping the slug guy and wartime C-3PO are real. I'm hoping that Star Wars Celebration will come along. This will be an actual poster reveal or an alternate poster or something. So this concludes this episode of the Scruffy Looking Nerd Herders podcast. This one was kind of a short one. I said that last week, I think, but this one definitely kind of was. This week has been kind of crazy. My fiance and I have been house hunting. We finally found one, and it's just been a non-stop week. Thursday, the 28th, was her birthday, so that's why, another reason why the episode got postponed and pushed off to release on Saturday instead of Friday. So you'll be listening to this on Saturday. So, and my episodes will always release on Fridays except for extenuating circumstances such as this. Her birthday is more important than the podcast, so spent time with her for her birthday. But yeah, so this week has been crazy. I'm going on almost no sleep, and I do apologize for how short of an episode this was, but next week will be better. I've got a couple ideas for some deep dives into some stuff, and I just think it would be cool, and gonna try to do at least one kind of an episode like this, kind of once a month. But you'll see next week. Hopefully everything works out, and you guys will enjoy it and want more of it. And if you don't enjoy what I want to try to do next week, then, okay, that's fine too. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. But like I said, this concludes this episode of the Scruffy Looking Nerd Herds podcast. Thank you so much for your continuing support. I know I say it every time, but it really does mean a lot to me. And please, if you like what you heard, be sure to follow, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. If this is your first time listening, hello, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you want to stick around and listen to me ramble and rant and all that good stuff some more. So please subscribe. Be sure to rate as well, because that helps me climb up in the ratings of the genre that I'm in. And be sure to share it with your friends. Share it to Facebook groups, on Twitter, private chats, Discord, all the things. You can find me on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube. There's so many ways to listen. I will soon be on Twitch, and I will live stream and do all sorts of good stuff. But be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SLNH Podcast for further updates on that. And be sure to pick up some merch. I will put a link in the description. And thank you so much for your reviews and comments. Like I said, it really helps me grow the podcast and get better and learn how to adapt and change and just do better. So, everyone, this has been Tyler from the Scruffy Looking Nerd Herders podcast. I'm signing off, and may the Force be with you.